Alex Orbito could have passed off as a loving grandfatherly figure with his beaming smile and humble demeanor. But he was a psychic surgeon, and he was here in Singapore to perform psychic surgeries. And I was his next patient. I lay down on the massage table. Without a word, he looked at me and started this cutting action on my stomach. I felt a pinch of pain, as if being cut by a blunt scissor. He removed some red stuff from my stomach, then went to the area between my eyebrows and did the cutting action again. Within a minute, we were done, and he kindly offered to sit me up. I have seen YouTube videos where these psychic surgeons were denounced as frauds. But one thing that I couldn't explain till now, years after that psychic surgery, is how I felt weak after the psychic surgery. It was the first and only time I have ever felt that way in my life. I have never had any other kinds of major surgeries before or since. After the surgery, I had to lie down for close to half an hour before I felt strong enough to function normally again. In addition, there was a visible scar on my stomach that didn't fade until a week later. I am convinced now that Alex Orbito is the real deal. He had indeed performed an authentic psychic surgery session on me. Or more accurately, the spirit that was working through Alex did. You see, the secret to psychic surgery is that Alex Orbito is merely a channel who allows benevolent spirits to work through him while he was in trance. Have you enjoyed watching the video so far? If so, please do like, share and subscribe to my channel so that I can continue to make quality videos in future for you. How did Alex Orbito become a psychic surgeon? Alex was born to parents who were involved with Spiritism, an organized group that originated in the 19th century in France, who believe that the human souls continue after death and that these spirits can communicate with the living through mediums. Spiritism takes root in many countries, but its stronghold is mainly in Brazil and Philippines, and it is in these two countries that we now see many of the authentic psychic surgeons. Under this family environment, many of his brothers and sisters became healers. Alex was the youngest and started his healing mission at the age of 14, when he had a dream where he cured someone of paralysis. At the age of 18 though, feeling stifled and wanted to escape the huge crowd who seek his healing every day, he changed his name to Joseph Valoria and left his hometown. For 3 years, he wandered around Philippines, taking different kinds of jobs to survive. However, his health gradually started declining until at the age of 21, he realized he was starting to lose his ability to walk. He kept hearing an inner voice telling him to go back to his healing ministry. When he returned to his village, the first person he healed was his mother, who had suffered mentally worrying about him. There was no turning back from then onwards, and Alex Orbito went on to become one of the most recognized psychic surgeons in the Philippines and the world. It is estimated that throughout his healing ministry, he healed over 1 million people. Were there scientific studies done on psychic surgery to determine whether it is real? There were indeed. I am going to start with 2 research studies that conclude that psychic surgery is a fraud, followed by 2 research studies that conclude that it is not, and you decide for yourself which it may be. In the 1950s, the American Medical Association, AMA, traveled to the Philippines to look at the procedures carried out by several psychic surgeons. Their conclusion was that the psychic surgeons were utilizing sleight-of-hand tricks to mimic the appearance of surgery. Based on what they observed, they denounced the whole psychic surgery as a fraud and a blatant act of negligence. This AMA study is still regarded as one of the most important early investigations into the claims of psychic surgery, and its findings continue to influence how the public perceives the procedure in conventional medicine. Brazilian psychic surgeon Arago rose to prominence in the 1950s and 1960s for his non-invasive surgical techniques that allowed him to treat life-threatening conditions like cancer. Researchers at the Federal University of São Paulo carried out a study to investigate Arago's assertions in the 1980s. Prior to the psychic surgery, the study comprised witnessing Arago's procedures and examining the patient medical records. After observing Arago, their conclusions were very similar to that of the AMA report. However, if you dig deeper into both studies, you will realize one thing. In both studies, the conclusion was drawn merely on what they observed during the psychic surgery, but there was no follow-up to see if any of the patients who were treated improved or not. In other words, the studies in no way determine whether psychic surgery does what it said it does, cure illnesses or alleviate symptoms. Now, let's look at the two studies that are positive towards psychic surgery. A Dutch doctor named Jan van Hemert did significant research on Orbito's healing abilities, compiling over 124 cases of patients who had been treated with Orbito. Data from trials measuring the efficacy of the therapies provided by Orbito that were carried out in Germany and Canada were included in the research, which was carried out between 2002 and 2005. According to Van Hemert's investigation, the treatments provided by Orbito significantly improved the patient's medical conditions, including their autoimmune illnesses, cancer, and chronic pain. The study also discovered that in some situations, the medical issues could be completely cured by the treatments. Van Hemert's research offers convincing proof of Alex Orbito's healing work's efficacy and suggests that it should be taken into consideration as a therapy option for a variety of medical ailments. More importantly, Alex Orbito has never shied away from rigorous scientific testing and research conducted in several nations, including Germany, Austria, France, Canada, Japan, and the Philippines, has confirmed his extraordinary healing abilities. In 2018, a paper titled "The Effects of Philippine Psychic Surgery on Pain and Functional Limitations in Individuals with Knee Osteoarthritis," a pilot study, was released in the Journal of Alternative and Complementary Medicine. The purpose of the study was to look into how patients with knee osteoarthritis would be affected by psychic surgery in terms of pain and functional restrictions. A sample of 20 individuals who underwent psychic surgery from a single Philippines-based psychic surgeon, not Alex Orbito, were involved in the study. Visual Analog Scales, VAS, for pain, the Western Ontario and McMaster University's Osteoarthritis Index, WOMAC, for functional limitations, and the Medical Outcomes Study 36-item short-form health survey, SF-36, for overall health status were all used to evaluate the patients before and after the treatment. According to the study's findings, individuals who had psychic surgery reported considerable improvements in their pain, functional restrictions, and overall health. However, there are limitations to this study, including the tiny sample size and the lack of a control group to rule out potential placebo effects. Do you think that psychic surgery is real? Let me know in the comments below. Unfortunately, Alex Orbito no longer provides healing services after a stroke in recent years. I believe that the most powerful psychic surgeon still practicing right now is Laurence S. Cacteng, also known as the Miracle Man, based in Philippines. Born in 1942, he claimed to channel Jesus, and uses his bare hands to remove tumors and other growths from the body without using any anesthesia. He typically now does a round of 10 sessions for a client, with 2 sessions a day for a total of 5 days of treatment, though some people may need more than that. He may suggest herbs as well. If this is something that you are interested in, the instructions to seek him out is in the description box. If you enjoy this video, my suggestion for the next video will be this.